Hey, welcome to Shakespeare Illuminated and to the second half of King Lear. I'm Michael Delahoyde, Professor Emeritus of English, and someone about to have another episode. Here at Shakespeare Illuminated, we seek to appreciate the brilliance of Shakespeare, his works. It's always especially illuminating when we give proper credit to Edward de Vere, 17th Earl of Oxford, using the pen name Shakespeare instead of to the illiterate grain merchant Shaxper of Stratford. It's the best answer to the long-standing so-called Shakespeare authorship question. I'm Ho. I-M-H-O. What's that? In our very last episode, we saw the aged King Lear intending to divide his kingdom among his daughters, especially including the youngest of the three children, his favorite. But we Delahoydes wouldn't know anything about that, would we, Jennifer? However, not playing into Lear's narcissistic game, Cordelia finds herself disinherited. Lear's follower Kent tries to reason with the king, gets himself banished, so he adopts a disguise and re-enters service to the king. Lear's fool also tries to urge Lear to consider his own foolishness. Meanwhile, the Earl of Gloucester is duped by his illegitimate son Edmund, who convinces him of the patricidal intentions of Gloucester's legitimate son Edgar, who flees and also adopts a disguise. Poor Tom, a babbling lunatic. Lear's older two daughters intentionally offer him shabby treatment, insisting he dismiss his followers, which drives Lear into fits of railing and indeed out into a raging storm, which is where we rejoin him now. So let's get back outside and check out clip number 14.
Blow, winds! Crack your cheeks! Rain! Blow! Oh, you cataracts of a hurricane, the spout till you have drenched us, drown the cocks! You sufferers like heart-excluding fires, vaunt couriers to out-cleaving thunderbolts, singe on my beard! And now, all shaking thunder, smite back the thick rotundity of the world, and tumble all together nature's germ and spill at once, that make ungrateful man.
Oh, Nuncle, court holy water in the dry house is better than this rainwater out of door. Good Nuncle, in, and ask thy daughter's blessing. Here's a night pities neither wise man nor fool.
Oh, rumble like bellyful! Spit fire! Spout rain! Nor rain, wind, thunder, fire are my daughters. I tax not you elements with unkindness. I never gave you kingdom, call you children. You owe me no subscription. Let fall your horrible pleasures. Here I stand, a humble, poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man. But yet I call you servile ministers that have with two pernicious daughters joined your high-engendered battles against a head so old and white as this. Oh, 'tis foul!
He that has a house to put head in has a good headpiece. The codpiece sets the hounds before the head has any. The head and he will louse, so beggars marry many. The man that makes his town what he his heart should make shall other corn cry woe and turn his feet to wake. For there was never yet that woman, but she made baths in a glass.
No. I will be the pattern of patience. I would say nothing.
Who's there?
Yeah, Mary. his grace and a codpiece. That's a wise man and a fool.
Alas, sir, are you here? Things that love night love not such nights as these. The wrathful skies gallow the very wanderers of the dark and make them keep their caves. Since I was a man, such sheets of fire, such bursts of horrid thunder, such groans of roaring wind and rain I never remember to have heard. Man's nature cannot carry the affliction nor the fear.
Let the great gods that keep this dreadful hover o'er our heads find out their enemies now. Tremble, thou wretch, that hast within thee undivulged crimes, unwept of justice. Hide thou bloody hand, thou perjured, and thou similar of virtue that art incestuous. Not caitiff to pieces shake, and under coveting convenient seeming have practised on man's life. Close, pent up, guilts, rive your concealing continents, and cry these dreadful summoners grace. I am a man more sinned against than sinning.
Alack, bareheaded. Gracious my lord, hard by here is a hovel. Some friendship will it lend you against the tempest. Repose you there, while I to this hard house, more harder than the stones whereof 'tis raised, which even now demanding after you denied me to come in, return and force their scanted courtesy.
My wits begin to turn. Come on, my boy. How dost, my boy? Hot, cold? Oh, I'm cold myself. Where is the straw, my fellow? The art of our necessities is strange, and can make vile things precious. Come, your hovel. The poor fool and knave. I have one part of my heart that's sorry yet for thee.
He that has had a little tiny bit, the hail, the wind, and the rain, must make content with his for the rain. It raineth every day.
Oh, good boy. Come, bring us to this hovel.
This is a brave night to cool the quarters. I'll speak a prophecy ere I go. When priests are more in word than matter, when brewers mar their malt with water, when nobles are their tailors' tutors, no heretics burned, but wenches suitors, then shall the realm of Albion come to great confusion, when every case in law is right, no squire in debt, nor no poor knight, when slanders do not live in tongues, nor cutpurses come not to throng, when usurers tell their gold in the field, and bawds and wars do churches build, then comes the time, lives to see it, that going shall be used with feet. This prophecy Merlin shall make, for I lived before his time.
So while Lear bellows for the universe to do its worst, damn it, we note that throughout his career, both in the works and at least in one personal letter, the Earl of Oxford always associated overwhelming tragedy with storms and tempests. And we do get there the first hints of Lear being humanized and being concerned for some of these other poor souls around him. At the end, the fool's mock prophecy is weird. It lists 4 conditions that are always true and 6 that could never be true. So who knows what really is behind that. In the next scene, Gloucester complains to Edmund about Cornwall and Regan. Edmund feigns concern because he's our villain. Gloucester stupidly tells him of a letter that reports of help coming for Lear and vengeance against the abusers. Gloucester asks Edmund, unwisely, to cover for him. He's going to go find Lear. But of course, Edmund plans to rat Gloucester out, his own father, to the other villain, Cornwall. We go back out with Lear into the storm, but we've got a hovel now. So Lear gets to indulge in more of his madness in this next clip, number 15.
Here's the place, my lord. Good my lord, enter. The tyranny of the open night's too rough for nature to endure.
You let me alone.
No, good my lord, enter here.
It will break my heart.
I'd rather break mine own. Good my lord, enter.
Thou think'st 'tis much that this contentious storm invades us to the skin? Oh, 'tis so to thee. But where the greater malady is fixed, the lesser is scarce felt. Thou shun a bear, but if thy flight lay towards the raging sea, thou'dst meet the bear in the mouth. Oh, when the mind's free, the body's delicate. The tempest in my mind doth from my senses take all feeling else save what beats there. Filial ingratitude. Is it not as this mouth should tear this hand for lifting food to it? Oh, but I will punish home. No, I will weep no more. It's such a night to shut me out. Hold on! I will endure! It's such a night as this, so Regan, Connery, your own kind father, whose frank heart gave all. Oh, that way my madness lies. Let me shun that. No more of that.
Good my lord, enter here.
Oh, prithee, go in thyself. Seek thine own ease. This tempest will not give me leave to ponder on things would hurt me more. Oh. But I'll go in. In, boy. Go first. You houseless poverty. Hey, don't keep thee in. I'll pray, and then I'll sleep. Oh, poor naked wretches. Wheresoe'er you are, that bide the pelting of this pitiless storm. How shall your houseless heads and unfed sides, your looped and windowed raggedness, defend you from seasons such as these? Oh. I've taken too little care of this. Take physic pomp. Expose thyself to feel what wretches feel, that thou mayest shake the superflux to them, and show heaven more just.
Fathom and half? Fathom and half! Oh, poor Tom!
Oh, no, not in here, Uncle. Here's a spirit. Help me!
Give me thy hand. Who's there?
A spirit. He says his name's poor Tom.
What art thou that thou dost grumble there in the straw? Come forth.
Away! The foul fiend follows me. Through the sharp hawthorn blows the cold wind. Go to thy cold bed and warm thee.
Hast thou given all to thy 2 daughters? And art thou come to this?
Who gives anything to poor Tom, whom the foul fiend hath led through fire and through flame, through ford and whirlpool, or bog and quagmire, that hath laid knives under his pillow and halters in his pew, sets rat-bane by his porridge, made him proud of heart to ride on a bay trotting horse over 4-inched bridges, to course his own shadow for a traitor. Oh, bless thy 5 wits, Tom's old. Oh, bless thee from whirlwinds, star blasting and taking. Do poor Tom some charity, whom the foul fiend vexes. There would I have him now, and there, and prick him, and there.
Oh, what? Have his daughters brought him to this pass? Couldst thou save nothing? Didst thou give them all?
Nay, he reserved a blanket, else we had been all shamed.
Now all the plagues that hang in the pendulous air hang fated o'er men's faults. Light on thy daughters.
He hath no daughter, sir.
Oh, death! Death, traitor! Nothing could have subdued nature to such aloneness but his unkind daughters. Is it the fashion that discarded fathers should have thus little mercy on their flesh? Oh, judicious punishment! 'Twas this flesh begot those pelican daughters.
Pillicock-sack-a, pillicock-a-loo-loo-loo-loo.
This cold night will turn us all to fools and madmen.
Oh, take
Yes.
heed of the foul fiend. Obey thy parents. Keep thy word. Swear not. Commit not with man's sworn spouse. Set not thy sweet heart on proud array. Oh, arms cold.
What hast thou been?
A serving man, proud in heart and mind. Oh, they curled my hair, wore gloves in my cap, served the lust of my mistress' heart, and did the acts of darkness with her. Swore as many oaths as I spake words, oh, and broke them in the sweet face of heaven. One that's slept in the contriving of lust and waked to do it. Wine I loved deeply, dice dearly, and in woman out paramour'd the Turk. False of heart, light of ear, bloody of hand, hog in sloth, fox in stealth, wolf in greediness, dog in madness, lion in prey. Let not the creaking of shoes, nor the rustling of silks betray thy poor heart to woman. Keep thy foot out of brothels, thy hand out of plackets, thy pen from lenders' books, and defy the foul fiend. Still, through the hawthorn blows the cold wind. Dolphin, my boy! My boy, Cesar! Let him trot by!
Why, thou wert better in thy grave than to answer with thy uncovered body this extremity of the skies. Oh, is man no more than this? Consider him well. Thou owest the worm no silk, the beast no hide, the sheep no wool, the cat no perfume. Oh, he's 3 ounces sophisticated. Thou art the thing itself. Unaccommodated man is no more but such a poor, bare, forked animal as thou art. Off! Off, you lending! And not near!
Prithee, Nuncle, be contented. 'Tis a naughty night to swim in.
So although he continues ranting about filial ingratitude, we see even more development of the human side, the compassionate side of Lear. He wants Kenton the Fool to go into the shelter first before him. He realizes that he's got to feel empathy for these poor naked wretches. Oh, have taken too little care of this. So think about that, a political leader with growing compassion for people. Maybe some of those guys should have to suffer. Well, madness makes you an allowed fool in Shakespeare typically, or to be able to speak the truth, but somewhat in disguise. So a lot of poor Tom's gibberish is needs a lot of footnotes. And I've mentioned a number of times Charles Beauclerc's book, Shakespeare's Lost Kingdom. He does the best job I've seen in decoding some of that I don't think we have time to unlayer here. That mention of pelican daughters needs a footnote too. The myth is that the way parent pelicans feed their young makes it look like the young are destroying the parents or pecking at the bodies, tearing at the bodies of them. So that's what Lear's on about there. Well, meanwhile, Cornwall is pleased by Edmund's producing that letter revealing Edgar to be, in their minds, treasonous and conspiring with France and against them. So Cornwall awards Edmund the Gloucester title and estate, and Edmund now adopts a new mission to catch his father aiding Lear. Next, and maybe in a different locale, we've got Lear, Kent in disguise still, the fool, and Edgar disguised as the lunatic poor Tom, entering another place and engaging in some more indulgence of Lear's madness here in clip number 16.
Prithee, Nuncle, tell me whether a madman be a gentleman or a yeoman.
A king! A king!
Yes, no. He's a yeoman that has a gentleman to his son, or he's a mad yeoman that sees his son a gentleman before him.
Oh, to have 1,000 with red burning spits come hissing in upon them. The foul fiend bites my back.
Well, he's mad that trusts in the tameness of a wolf, a horse's heath, a boy's love, or a whore's oath.
It shall be done. I will arraign them straight. Comes, sit thou here, most learned justicer. And you, thou sapient sir, sit here. Now, you she-foxes.
How do you, sir? Stand you not so amazed. Will you lie down and rest upon these cushions?
I'll see their trial first. Bring in their evidence. Thou, robed man of justice, take thy place. And thou, his yoke fellow of equity, bench by his side. You are of the commission too. Sit you too.
Yet us still dusky. Sleep'st, or wakest thou, jolly shepherd? Thy sheep be in the corn. And for one blast of thy minikin mouth, thy sheep shall take no harm. Oh, the cat is grey.
Arraign her first. 'Tis Goneril. Here I take my oath before this honourable assembly. She kicked the poor king, her father.
Come hither, mistress. Is your name Goneril?
She cannot deny it.
Cry you mercy, I took you for a joint stool.
And here's another whose warped looks proclaim what store her heart is made on. Stop her there! Arms! Arms! Sword! Fire! Eruption in the place! False justice! Thou I hast of let her escape!
Bless thy wits.
Oh, pity. Sir, where is the patience now that thou hast so oft boasted to retain?
My tears begin to take his part so much they'll mar my counterfeiting.
The little dogs and all! Betray the Blanche and sweetheart! See, they bark at me!
Tom will throw his head at them. Avaunt, you curs! Be thy mouth or black or white, tooth that poisons if it bite, mastiff, greyhound, mongrel, grim, hound or spaniel, brack or limb, or bobtail tyke, or trundle tail, Tom will make them weep and wail. Or, with throwing thus my head, dogs will leap the hatch, and all are fled. Doody-doody-do, Caesar! Come, march to wakes and fairs, and market towns. Poor Tom, thy horn is dry.
Then let them anatomize Regan. See what breeds about her heart. Is there any cause in nature that makes these hard hearts? Oh, you, sir. I entertain for one of my 100. Only I do not like the fashion of your garments. Oh, you'll say they're personal attire. But let them be changed.
Now, good my lord, lie here. Lie here and rest a while.
Make no noise. Make no noise. Yeah. Draw the curtains. So. Yeah, we'll go to supper in the morning. So.
I'll go to bed at noon.
Well, although neither Goneril nor Regan are there to hear it, the footstool is a pretty spiffy insult. Basically, oh, I'm sorry. I mistook you for an insignificant piece of furniture. So that's a delight. Now, what is Oxford's obsession with madness, other than maybe autobiographically a little worried about his own emotional instability? But he might have learned about distracted minds from his days at Fisher's Folly in the 1580s, since Bedlam, the insane asylum, was located right across the street. And I can tell you myself, having gone for these woodland walks with my grandfather when I was a kid, and he would glamorize these pathways through the woods as the rhinoceros trail and the hippopotamus trail. It was probably all the same trail, but got your imagination going. But the pathway would come out behind the Hudson River psychiatric hospital for the criminally crazy insane, and there would be people shrieking out of third-story windows at the back of that building. So I'm just going to say that the experience of being that close to madness does make an impression. The fool's final clip, I'll go to bed at noon, meaning that he'll also act like a fool, or that the time is out of joint, but it also might refer obliquely to the 1590 dissolution of Oxford's theatrical company, despite it being at its high point, at its noon, and being put to bed that way. Well, Gloucester returns with news of an assassination plot against Lear, and the king should be carried to Dover. Next, Cornwall instructs Goneril to bring that letter to her husband Albany regarding the landing of the army of France. But he also wants Gloucester found. And Regan wants Gloucester hanged as a traitor. Goneril wants his eyes poked out. And this nasty batch gathers together here in clip number 17.
Seek out the villain Gloucester. Hang him instantly.
Pluck out his eyes.
Go, seek the traitor Gloucester. Pinion him like a thief. Bring him before us. Though well we may not pass upon his life without the form of justice, yet our power shall do a courtesy to our wrath, which men may blame, but not control. Who's there? The traitor? Ingrateful fox, 'tis he. Bind fast his corky arms.
What mean your graces? Good, my friends, consider you are my guests. Do me no foul play, friends.
Bind him, I say, hard, hard. Oh, filthy traitor.
Unmerciful lady as you are, I'm none. I am your host. With robbers' hands my hospitable favors you should not ruffle thus. What will you do?
Sir, what letters had you late from France? Be simple answered, for we know the truth. And what confederacy have you had with the traitors late-footed in the kingdom? To whose hands have you sent the lunatic king? Speak.
I have a letter guessingly set down, which came from one that's of neutral heart, and not from one opposed.
Cunning and false. Where hast thou sent the king?
To Dover.
Wherefore to Dover? Wast thou not charged at peril?
I am tied to the stake, and I must stand the course.
Wherefore to Dover, sir?
Because I would not see thy cruel nails pluck out his poor old eyes, nor thy fierce sister in his anointed flesh stick boorish fangs. The sea, with such a storm as his bare head in hell-black night endured, would have buoyed up and quenched the stellid fires. Yet poor old heart, he holp the heavens to rain. If wolves had at thy gate howled that darn time, thou shouldst have said, good porter, turn the key. All cruels else subscribe. But I shall see the winged vengeance overtake such children.
See it shalt thou never. Fellows, hold the chair. Upon these eyes of his set thy foot.
He that will think to live till he grow old, give me some help! Ah!
I think we need a little break for a moment. Let me back up. At the beginning of that scene, Edmund was present, but Cornwall dismissed him, I guess insisting that he shouldn't be there for his own father's torture. So that's pretty compassionate, I guess. But Edmund has no lines and weirdly disappears out of this play until the last act. Where's everybody going in all these disappearances? Lear's 100 followers. We never see or hear about them again. The fool. We only maybe hear about him later on. And now mostly Edmund, too. So, Gloucester reminding the evil ones that he is their host is a big, serious issue, which you may know from Macbeth, or you may know from Dante's Inferno, where treachery against the host-guest sacred relationship is one of the worst violations. You end up in the lowest levels of Dante's hell. It's actually Cornwall who puts out the eyes here, and you haven't seen him because he's an evil sadist, and so we've redacted him. All right, you ready? Let's go back to this misery in clip number 18.
Oh, cruel! Oh, you gods!
One side will mock another, the other too, lest it see more prevent it. Out, vile jelly.
Ah!
Where is thy lustre now?
All dark and comfortless. Where's my son, Edmund? Edmund, enkindle all the sparks of nature to quit this horrid act.
Out, treacherous villain! Thou call'st on him that hates thee. It was he that made the overture of thy treasons to us, who is too good to pity thee.
Oh, my follies! Then Edgar was abused. Kind gods, forgive me that, and prosper him.
Go, thrust him out at the gates, and let him smell his way to Dover.
Well, between eye poking number 1 and eye poking number 2, a servant couldn't take it anymore and attacked Cornwall and actually delivered him what will be his fatal wound. But that servant got stabbed by Goneril, and he ends up being a corpse and chucked out on the dung heap. As you see now, Gloucester understands which son was true and which one is a rat bastard. And so ends Act 3. Some more good servants are going to help Gloucester along, and one old guy helps him wander around out in the wilderness next. So Edgar, and probably Oxford, I would say, when Oxford is banished, talks himself into a glimmer of optimism by saying, "Better thus, and known to be condemned, than still condemned and flattered," which would be the insincerity of living in the court. But with Gloucester stumbling around and Edgar realizing, remember, Edgar is still pretending to be crazy, he encounters the blinded Gloucester now here in clip number 19 and is horrified.
Yet better thus, and known to be contemned, than still contemned and flattered. To be worst, the lowest and most dejected thing of fortune, still stands in esperance, lives not in fear. The lamentable changes from the best. The worst returns to laughter. Welcome, then, thou unsubstantial air that I embrace. The wretch that thou hast blown into the worst owes nothing to thy blasts. But who comes here? My father. Poorly led. World, oh world! But that thy strange mutations make us hate thee, life would not yield to age.
I have no way, and therefore want no eyes. I stumbled when I saw. Full oft 'tis seen, our means secure us, and our mere defects prove our commodities. Oh, dear son Edgar, the food of thy abused father's wrath, might I but live to see thee in my touch, I'd say I had eyes again.
O gods, who is can say, I am at the worst? I am worse than e'er I was, and worse I may be yet. The worst is not, so long as we can say, this is the worst.
In the last night's storm, I a fellow saw, which made me think a man a worm. My son came then into my mind, and yet my mind was then scarce friends with him. I have heard more since. As flies to wanton boys are we to the gods. They kill us for their sport.
Poor Tom's a cold. I cannot daub it further.
Come hither, fellow.
And yet I must. Oh, bless thy sweet eyes, they bleed.
Knowest thou the way to Dover?
Both stile and gate, horseway and footpath. Poor Tom hath been scared out of his good wits. Bless thee, good man's son, from the foul fiend. 5 fiends have been in poor Tom at once. Of lust, as of Biddicut, Hobbididance, prince of dumbness, Mahu of stealing, Modo of murder, Fibber-to-gibbet of mopping and mowing, who since possesses chambermaids and waiting women. So bless thee, master.
Here, take this purse. Thou whom the heavens' plagues have humbled to all strokes. That I am wretched makes thee the happier. Heavens, deal so still. Let the superfluous and lust-dieted man that slaves your ordinance, that will not see because he doth not feel your power quickly. So distribution should undo excess, and each man have enough. Dost thou know Dover?
Aye, master.
There is a cliff whose high and bending head looks fearfully in the confined deep. Bring me but to the very brim of it, and I'll repair the misery thou dost bear with something rich about me. From that place I shall no leading need.
Give me thy arm. Poor Tom shall lead thee.
We hope with the critics that this is the first hint of the birth within Gloucester of insight in that old paradox about seeing and blindness. Well, Goneril invites Edmund into her palace, Albany's palace, and snipes about her mild husband, Albany. Oswald's report indicates that Albany himself sympathizes with Lear, and therefore Goneril considers him a coward. And she and Edmund are to be the new item, supposedly, and not just in their unity against the war with France. Albany does arrive and declares to Goneril, "You are not worth the dust which the rude wind blows in your face." So I don't see a lot of hope for this marriage. And there's more. Wisdom and goodness to the vile seem vile. Filths savor but themselves. And I can't believe that was written before 2026. Well, a messenger brings news of Cornwall's death, yea, from the wound he sustained when blinding Gloucester. Goneril worries now that Regan could snatch Edmund away from her. And we get a scene where the King of France has excused himself and gone back home. We never explain that again. We never see him again. Another disappearance here too. And Lear is in Dover. Cordelia now sends soldiers to fetch Lear and hopes that a doctor is right and some herbs can help restore him to sanity. But the British army is approaching, and it looks like we're heading for war soon. All right. Edgar does follow through on his promise, and still disguising himself from the blind Gloucester, brings the old man to Dover and pretends that they are nearing a cliff.
When shall we come to the top of that same hill?
Oh, you do climb up it now. Look how we labor.
Well, methinks the ground is even.
Oh, horrible steep. Hark! Do you hear the sea?
No, truly.
Why, then, your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish.
So may it be indeed. Methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speakst in better phrase and matter than thou didst.
You're much deceived. In nothing am I changed but my garments.
Methinks you're better spoken.
Come on, sir, here's the place. Stand still. How fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low! The crows and choughs that wing the midway air show scarce so gross as beetles, who halfway down hangs one that gathers samphire. Dreadful trade! Methinks he seems no bigger than his head. The fishermen that walk upon the beach appear like mice, and yond tall anchoring bark, diminished to her cock, a buoy almost too small for sight. The murmuring surge that on the unnumbered idle pebbles chafes cannot be heard so high. Oh, I'll look no more, lest my brain turn and the deficient sight topple down headlong.
Set me where you stand.
Give me your hand. You are now within a foot of the extreme verge. For all beneath the moon would I not leap upright.
Let go my hand. Here, friends, another purse. In it a jewel well worth a poor man's taking. Fairies and gods prosper it with thee. Go thou farther off. Bid me farewell, and let me hear thee going.
Now fare you well, good sir.
With all my heart.
Why I do trifle thus with his despair is done to cure it.
O you mighty gods, this world I do renounce, and in your sights shake patiently my great affliction off. If I could bear it longer and not fall to quarrel with your great opposeless wills, my snuff and loathed part of nature should burn itself out. If Edgar live, oh, bless him. Now, fellow, fare thee well. Oh.
Gone, sir. Farewell. And yet I know not how conceit may rob the treasury of life when life itself yields to the theft. Had he been where he thought? By this had thought been past. Alive or dead? Ho, you, sir! Friend! Here, you, sir, speak! Thus he might pass indeed, yet he revives. What are you, sir?
Away, and let me die.
Hadst thou been aught but gossamer, feathers, air, so many fathom down precipitating, thou didst shiver like an egg. But thou dost breathe, hast heavy substance, bleedst not, speakst, art sound. 10 masts at each make not the altitude which thou hast perpendicularly fell. Thy life's a miracle. Speak yet again.
What? Have I fallen or no?
From the dread summit of this chalky bourne, look up a height. The shrill-gorged lark so far cannot be seen or heard. Do but look up.
Alack, I have no eyes. Is wretchedness deprived that benefit to end itself by death? 'Twas yet some comfort when misery could beguile the tyrant's rage and frustrate his proud will.
Give me your arm. Up.
Oh.
So. How is't? Feel you your legs? You stand.
Oh, too well, too well.
This is above all strangeness. This is above all strangeness. This is stranger than strange. Upon the crown of the cliff that thing was what you parted from. What was that?
A poor unfortunate beggar?
Well, as I stood here below, methought his eyes were 2 full moons. He had 1,000 noses, horns whelked and waved like the enridged sea. It was some fiend. Therefore, thou happy father, think that the clearest gods who make them honours of men's impossibilities have preserved thee.
I do remember now. Henceforth I'll bear affliction till it do cry out itself, enough, enough, and die. That thing you speak of, I took it for a man. Often 'twould say, the fiend, the fiend. He led me to that place.
Bear free and patient thoughts.
The cliff scene can have various effects on audiences. It's almost laughably slapstick in a way, but that would probably yield more of a kind of a guilty, nervous laughter, perhaps. And some critics say this can, however, come off as sublime if Gloucester's physical fall brings a spiritual rise, and if you can accept Edgar's justification for such a thing. But we'll have to keep track of Gloucester afterwards to see if such a thing really worked. Immediately, Lear enters, and there's gradually maybe a sort of reconciliation scene between the two old men here in clip number 21.
No, they cannot touch me for coining. I'm the king himself.
Oh, thou sight-piercing sight!
Nature's above art in that respect. Oh, there's your press money. That fellow handles his bow like a crow keeper. Hey, draw me a clothier's yard. Oh, look, a mouse. Oh, peace. This piece of toasted cheese will do it. There's my gauntlet. I'll prove it on a giant. Bring up the brown bulls! Oh, well flown bird! In the clout! Give the word.
Sweet marjoram.
Pass.
I know that voice.
Goneril, with a white beard. Oh, they flattered me like a dog. Told me I had white hairs in my beard and the black ones were there. To say aye and no to everything that I said. Aye and no too was no good divinity. When the rain came to wet me once, and the wind to make me chatter, when the thunder would not peace at my bidding, there I found them. There I smelt them out. Go to it. They are not men of their words. They told me I was everything. 'Tis a lie. I am not ague-proof.
The trick of that voice I do well remember. Is't not the king?
Why, every inch a king. When I do stare, see how the subject quakes. I pardon that man's life. What was the cause? Adultery? Thou shalt not die. Die for adultery? Oh, the wren goes to it. And the small gilded fly doth lecture in my sight. Let copulation thrive. For Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters. Got between the lawful sheets. Oh, it, luxury, pell-mell! For I lack soldiers. Behold, yon simpering dame, whose face between our forks presages snow. Oh, that minces virtue, and will shake head in pleasure's name. Oh, the fitchel of the soiled horse goes to it with a more riotous appetite. Oh, down from the waist they are, centaurs, the women all above. But to the girdle do the gods inherit, beneath it all the fiends. Oh, there's hell, there's darkness, there is the sulphurous pit, burning, scalding, sense consumption. Give me an ounce of civet, good apothecary, and sweeten my imagination. Look, there's money for thee.
Oh, let me kiss that hand.
Oh, well, let me wipe it first. It smells of mortality.
Oh, ruined piece of nature. This great world shall so wear out to naught. Dost thou know me?
I remember that eyes well enough. Dost thou squint at me? Oh, no, blind Cupid. Do thy worst, I'll not love. Read thou this challenge. Mark but the penning of it.
Were all the letters suns, I could not see one.
I would not take this from report. It is. And my heart breaks at it.
Read.
What? With the case of eyes?
Oh, who are you there with me? No eyes in your head, nor money in your purse. Your eyes are in a heavy case, your purse in a light. Yet you see how this world goes.
I see it feelingly.
What? Ahmed? A man may see how this world goes with no eyes. Look with thine ears. See how yond justice rails upon yond simple thief. Hearken thine ear. Change places and handy-dandy. Which is the justice and which is the thief? Thou hast seen a farmer's dog bark at a beggar?
Aye, sir.
And the creature run from the cur? There mightest thou behold the great image of authority, and dogs obeyed in office. Oh, thou rascal beadle, hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash that whore? Strip thine own back. Thou hotly lustest to use her in that kind for which thou whipp'st her. The usurer hangs the cozener. Through tattered gowns and clothes small vices do appear. Her robes and furred gowns hide all. Her plates sin with gold, and the strong lance of justice hers breaks. Armed in rags, a pygmy straw does pierce it. None does offend. None. I say none. I'll able them. Take that of me, my friend, who have the power to seal the accuser's lips. Get thee glass eyes, and, like a scurvy politician, seem to see the things that thou dost not. Oh, no. Pull off my boots. Harder! Oh, so.
Matter and impertinency mixed. Reason in madness.
if thou wilt weep my fortunes, take my eyes. I know thee well enough. Her name is Gloucester. Thou must be patient. We came crying hither. Thou knowest, first time that we smell the air, we bawl and cry. I will preach to thee, mark.
Alack, alack the day!
When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools. Oh, this is a good block. It were a delicate stratagem to shoe a troop of horse with felt. I'll put it in proof. When I have stolen upon these sons-in-laws, then kill, 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 kill.
Lear pardoned there an imaginary person and only afterwards asked, "What's the crime? Adultery? That's not criminal." And the Earl of Oxford would probably have to agree. And Lear also says, encouraging everybody just to have sex. To it, luxury, pell-mell, for I lack soldiers. And one of my favorite critics adds, how that line sums up the interest of dictators in the birth rate. As for the line from Lear, when we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools. Mwah! Did you love Shakespeare? Well, some men enter sent by Cordelia, but Lear doesn't trust, and he runs away, escaping them. But the good guys will catch him soon. First, though, we've got Edgar trying to hide away Gloucester and get about some business here. But Oswald, that cheesy guy who got the insults last time, enters and gloats about finding Gloucester, thinking this is going to increase his fortunes if he kills the old man. But the still disguised Edgar defends Gloucester, fatally wounds Oswald. Oswald gives him that letter to deliver to Edmund that Edgar reads, saying, from Goneril, Edmund should kill Albany and marry her. And there's a mention of English in a bit of a scene here where some people get all upset because England wouldn't be a term appropriate for another 13 centuries. But, what are you going to do? Well, in another scene that late we decided we couldn't do without, we decided to give you this treat. So it's got the strange number of clip number 21.5.
O thou good Kent, how shall I live and work to match thy goodness? My life will be too short, and every measure fail me.
To be acknowledged, madam, is o'erpaid. All my reports go with a modest truth, nor more nor clipped, but so.
Be better suited. These weeds are memories of those worser hours. I prithee put them off.
Pardon me, dear madam, yet to be known shortens my made intent. My boon I make it that you know me not, till time and I think meet.
Then be it so, my good lord. How does the king?
Madam sleeps still.
O you kind gods, cure this great breach in his abused nature. The untuned and jarring senses, wind up of this child-changed father.
So please your majesty that we may wake the king. He hath slept long.
Proceed. Is he arrayed?
Aye, madam. In the heaviness of his sleep we put fresh garments on him. Be by Good madam, when we do wake him, I doubt not of his temperance.
Very well. Oh, my dear father, restoration, hang thy medicine on my lips, and let this kiss repair those violent harms that my 2 sisters have in thy reverence made.
Kind and dear princess.
Had you not been their father, these white flakes did challenge pity of them. Was this a face to be opposed against the warring winds? To stand against the deep, dread-bolted thunder in the most terrible and nimble stroke of quick cross lightning? To watch poor Perdu with this thin helm? Mine enemy's dog, though he had bit me, should have stood that night against my fire. And wast thou fain, poor father, to hovel thee with swine and rogues forlorn in short and musty straw? Alack, alack, 'tis wonder that thy life and wits at once had not concluded all. He wakes. Speak to him.
Madam, do you? 'Tis fittest.
How does my royal lord? How fares your majesty?
You do me wrong to take me out of the grave. Thou art a soul in bliss, but I am bound upon a wheel of fire, that mine own tears do scald like molten lead.
Sir, do you know me?
Oh, you are a spirit, I know. When did you die?
Still far wide.
He's scarce awake. Let him alone a while.
Where have I been? Where am I? Fair daylight. I am mightily abused. I should e'en die with pity to see another thus. I know not what to say. I will not swear these hands are mine. Let's see. Well, I feel this pinprick. Oh, would I were assured of my condition.
Oh, look upon me, sir, and hold your hands in benediction o'er me. No, sir, you must not kneel.
Oh, pray do not mock me. I am a very foolish, fond old man. 80 and up. Not an hour more or less. And to deal plainly, I fear I'm not in my right mind. Methinks I should know you, but I know this man. Yet I am doubtful, for I am mainly ignorant. What place is this? And all the skill I have remembers not these garments. Nor I know not where I did lodge last night. Do not laugh at me. For as I am a man, I think this lady to be my child. Cordelia?
And so I am.
Your tears wet. Oh, yes, your faith. Oh, I pray weep not. If you have poison for me, I will drink it. I know you do not love me. Your sisters have, as I do remember, done me wrong. You have some cause. They have not.
No cause.
Am I in France?
In your own kingdom, sir.
Oh, do not abuse me.
Be comforted, good madam. The great rage you see is killed in him, and yet it is danger to make him even or the time he is lost. Desire him to go in, trouble him no more till further settling.
Will't please your highness walk?
Oh, you must bear with me. I pray you now. Forget and forgive. I am old and foolish.
There's some pretty good stuff. The whole reconciliation scene is given much praise critically. It's got the simplest language, scarcely a polysyllable, they say. And Isaac Asimov declared, "Nowhere in literature is the human heart so skillfully and ruthlessly torn in sympathy with what it sees and hears." Well, you might be asking, why does Kent insist on maintaining his disguise now that the need for secrecy has vanished? What are you asking me for? Oh, right, because I'm supposed to be. Here's something interesting. Since we've seen measurement as thematic inappropriately often, the calculation by Lear of his age, saying that he's 80 years old and more, but not more or less, it's like declaring yourself to be 43 years old, 7 months, 12 hours, and 15 minutes, roughly. So it gave rise to some interesting discussion with the cast and crew of Shakespeare Illuminated here, and we started asking, all right, well, if Lear really is that old and he's not just babbling insanely some more, how old was he when he had his daughters? And so how old are the daughters? And what happened to the mother or mothers? Or and so on. But of course, like all these disappearing people in disguises and the inexplicable, it was just an interesting discussion ultimately. Now, Kent learns that he and Edgar are rumored to be in Germany. Great! That gives us an advantage, although it does seem like completely arbitrary. Now, we go into the final act, Act 5. And more than with the war, Regan is obsessed with Edmund not having found my brother's way to the forfended place. And that is Goneril's bed, let's say. So here are the bad guys again back for clip number 22.
Now, sweet lord, you know the goodness I intend upon you. Tell me, but truly, but then speak the truth. Do you not love my sister?
In honored love.
But have you never found my brother's way to the forfended place?
That thought abuses you.
I am doubtful that you have been conjunct and bosomed with her, as far as we call hers.
No, by mine honor, madame.
I shall never endure her. Dear my lord.
Fear me not. She and the Duke, her husband,
I had rather lose the battle than that sister should loosen him and me.
I shall attend on you presently, at your tent.
Sister, you'll go with us?
No.
'Tis most convenient. Pray you, go with us.
Oh, I know the riddle. I will go.
To both these sisters have I sworn my love, each jealous of the other, as the stung are of the adder. Which of them shall I take? Both, one, or neither? Neither can be enjoyed if both remain alive. To take the widow exasperates, makes mad her sister Goneril, and hardly shall I carry out my side, her husband being alive. Now then we'll use his countenance for the battle, which being done, let her who would be rid of him devise his speedy taking off. As for the mercy which he intends to Lear and Cordelia, the battle done, and they within our power,
shall never see his pardon, for my state stands on me to defend, not to debate.
Another little plot point here is that Albany, who we decided we now like, not so much his wife though, is alone, in the disguised, still, Edgar delivers the letter regarding the murder pact against Albany. So now he's in the know. Edgar then goes back and tries to leave Gloucester secure at a tree, and soon returns with news that Cordelia and Lear have been captured. He and his daughter taken, and so Gloucester now is thrust into ill thoughts again. But what's also peculiar, maybe for Shakespeare, is that this whole supposed war takes place behind the scenes and gets only one line of mention, really. So, in this play, in this context, it's the clash of human emotions and human states of being rather than matters of state. Well, Edmund gets to gloat over the capture of Lear and Cordelia, but as you'll see, Lear is simply happy that he and his daughter have reconciled, and he seems to be in his right mind again, and maybe even better. So here, let's watch that in clip number 23.
Some officers take them away. Good guard, until their greater pleasures first be known, that are to censure them.
We are not the first, who with best meaning have incurred the worst. For thee, oppressed king, am I cast down. Myself could out-frown false fortune's frown. Shall we not see these daughters and these sisters?
No. Come, get away to prison. We two alone will sing like birds in a cage. Now just ask me blessing. I'll kneel down and ask of thee forgiveness. So we'll live and pray and sing and tell old tales and laugh at gilded butterflies. And hear poor rogues talk of court news. And we'll talk with them too. Who loses and who wins, who's in, who's out. And take upon us the mystery of things, as if we were God's spies. And we'll wear out in a walled prison pacts and sets of great ones that ebb and flow by the moon.
Take them away.
Such sacrifices, my Cordelia, the gods themselves throw incense. Have I caught thee? He that parts us shall bring a brand from heaven and fire us hence like foxes. Wipe thine eyes. The good years shall devour them, flesh and fell. There they shall make us weep. We'll see them starve first.
Well, one of my favorite critics, again, Harold Goddard actually, says that Lear ends with authority and force put off, with love and tenderness put on. So that's a good show. However, Edmund sends Lear and Cordelia off to prison with written instructions for a captain to, clearly it's a murder assignment. Albany and the sisters enter. Everybody, and Edmund's there. Everybody is at each other's throats. Everybody's bickering viciously. And it seems like Regan might have gotten hold of some bad seafood. Let's see this in clip 24.
That's as we list to grace him. Methinks our pleasure might have been demanded ere you had spoke so far. He led our powers, bore the commission of my place and person, the which immediacy may well stand up and call itself your brother.
Not so hot. In his own grace he doth exalt himself more than in your addition.
In my rights, by me invested, he compares the best.
That were the most, if he should husband you.
Jesters do oft prove prophets.
Holla, holla! That eye that told you so looked but a squint.
Lady, I am not well, else I should answer from a full-flowing stomach. General, take thou my soldiers, prisoners, patrimony. Dispose of them, of me. The walls are thine. Witness the world that I create thee here, my lord and master.
Mean you to enjoy him?
Let the drums strike and prove the title thine. Sick. Oh, sick.
If not, I'll ne'er trust medicine.
Oh, my sickness grows upon me.
So the treachery is revealed to Albany. He and Edmund will duel. But Edgar, still disguised, comes in and takes Albany's place and challenges a duel with Edmund, who does not know he's fighting his own brother. So let's see how this turns out in clip number 25.
No, my name is lost. By treason's tooth, bare gnawn and canker bit. Yet I am noble, as the adversary I come to cope. What's he that speaks for Edmund, Earl of Gloucester?
Himself. What sayest thou to him?
Draw thy sword, that if my speech offend a noble heart, thy arm may do thee justice. Here is mine. Behold, it is my privilege, the privilege of mine honours, my oath, and my profession. I protest, maugre thy strength, youth, place, and eminence, despite thy victor sword and fire new fortune, thy valour and thy heart, thou art a traitor. False to thy gods, thy brother, and thy father. Conspirant against this high illustrious prince, and from the extremest upward of thy head to the descent and dust beneath thy foot, a most toad-spotted traitor. Say thou no? This sword, this arm, and my best spirits are bent to prove upon thy heart, whereto I speak, thou liest.
In wisdom I should ask thy name, but since thy outside looks so fair and warlike, and that thy tongue, some say a breeding breathes, what safe and nicely I might well delay by rule of knighthood, I disdain and spurn. Back do I toss these treasons to thy head, with the hell-hated lie o'erwhelm thy heart, which for they yet glance by and scarcely bruise, this sword of mine shall give them instant way, where they shall rest forever. Trumpets! Speak! What you have charged me with, that I have done, and more, much more. The time will bring it out. 'Tis past, and so am I. But what art thou that hath done this fortune on me? If thou art noble, I do forgive thee.
Let's exchange charity. I am no less in blood than thou art, Edmund. If more, the more thou hast wronged me. My name is Edgar, and thy father's son. The gods are just, and of our pleasant vices make instruments to plague us. The dark and vicious place where thee he got cost him his eyes.
Thou hast spoken right. 'Tis true. The wheel is come full circle. I am here.
I am come to bid my king and master I good night. See not here. Speak, Edmund, where is the king? And where's Cordelia?
I bant for life. Some good I mean to do, despite of mine own nature. Quickly send, be brief in it, to the castle, for my writ is on the life of Lear and on Cordelia. Nay, send it in time. He hath commissioned to hang Cordelia in the prison, and to lay the blame upon her own despair that she fordid herself.
Well, Edgar has fatally wounded Edmund. Goneril is outraged. But Albany produces that letter revealing the treacheries, and Goneril is defiant, saying, "The laws are mine, not thine. Who can arraign me for it?" Sound familiar, 2026? So Edmund admits to his crimes. Edgar reveals his identity. Albany hears Edgar's story, which ends with the recent fact that when he revealed his identity to Gloucester, his father, less than half an hour ago, the old man died happily. It's one of Shakespeare's great unwritten scenes, it's declared. And again, well, I guess maybe we've got some more important things to resolve here. In any case, significantly, Edgar's name was lost and finally comes to light, or is reclaimed. And one's good name was always an obsession with Oxford from his earliest years. A man holding a bloody knife reports that Goneril has killed herself after having poisoned Regan. Edmund, still slowly expiring, notes the appropriateness that they all died together. And the arrival of Kent triggers Albany's memory that, hey, what about Lear and Cordelia? Edmund tries to remand the order, and here's what ends up happening. Let me just zip us to the end. Soldiers intrude upon Lear and Cordelia. Lear rallies and kills the would-be assassins. Edgar and Albany enter. In a delightful ending, Lear regains the throne. Cordelia marries Edgar, and Edgar joyfully declares that truth and virtue shall at last succeed. At least that's the version we all saw between 1681 and 1838. The History of King Lear was a play written by a Nahum Tate. It's an adaptation of the Shakespeare. It superseded Shakespeare's version and enjoyed extreme popularity for 150 years or so, even though there were some justified negative responses. But actually, and I hate to do this to you, despite the effort by Edmund now to countermand the orders, saying some good I mean to do despite my own nature, here's what actually happens in clip number 26. This is the end.
Oh, you are men of stones. Had I your tongues and eyes, I'd use them so heaven's vault should crack. She's gone forever. Oh, I know when one is dead and when one lives. And she's dead as earth. Give me a glass. A looking glass. If that her breath will mist or stain the stone, well, then she lives.
Is this the promised end?
Or image of that horror?
This feather stirs. She lives. If it be so, it is a chance that does redeem all sorrows that ever I have felt.
Oh, my good master.
Don't be prithee away.
It is noble Kent, your friend.
A plague upon you! Murders, traitors all, like I might have saved her. No, it is she not forever. Cordelia, Cordelia, stay a little. Didst thou say it? Her voice was ever soft, gentle and low, and an excellent thing in women. I killed the slave that was hanging thee. Oh, I've seen the day with my good biting falchion. I'd have made them skip. Oh, I'm old now, and these same crosses spoil me. Who are you? Mine eyes are not of the best. I'll no, tell you straight.
If fortune brag of two she loved and hated, one of them we behold.
Oh, this is a dull sight. Are you not Kent?
The same. Your servant Kent. Where is your servant Caius?
He's a good fellow, I can tell you that. Oh, he'll strike quickly to it. He's dead and rotten.
No, my good lord, I am the very man.
But I'll see that straight.
That from your first of difference and decay have followed your sad steps.
Oh, you are welcome hither.
Nor no man else. All's cheerless, dark, and deadly. Your eldest daughters have fordone themselves and desperately are dead.
So I think. And my poor fool is hanged. No. No life. Why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life, and thou no breath at all? Thou come, never, 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 never. I'm afraid I'll do this, but thank you. Do you see this? Look on her. Look. Lips. Look. Oh, you are men of stones. Had I your tongues and eyes, I'd use them so heaven's vault should crack. She's gone forever. Oh, I know when one is dead and when one lives. And she's dead as earth. Give me a glass. A looking glass. If that her breath will mist or stain the stone, why then she lives.
Is this the promised end?
Or image of that horror?
This feather stirs. She lives. If it be so, it is a chance that does redeem all sorrows that ever I have felt.
Oh, my good master.
Don't be breathing away.
It is noble Kent, your friend.
A plague upon you. Murders, traitors all that. I might have saved her. No. Is she gone forever? Cordelia, Cordelia, stay a little. Didst thou say it? Her voice was ever soft, gentle and low, and an excellent thing in women. I killed the slave that was hanging thee. Oh, I've seen the day with my good biting falchion. I'd have made them skip. Oh, I'm old now, and these same crosses spoil me. Who are you? Mine eyes are not of the best. I'll no, tell you straight.
If fortune brag of two she loved and hated, one of them we behold.
Oh, this is a dull sight. Are you not Kent?
The same. Your servant Kent. Where is your servant Caius?
He's a good fellow, I can tell you that. Oh, he'll strike quickly too, but he's dead and rotten.
No, my good lord, I am the very man.
But I'll see that straight.
That from your first of difference and decay have followed your sad steps.
Oh, you are welcome hither.
Nor no man else. All's cheerless, dark, and deadly. Your eldest daughters have fordone themselves and desperately are dead.
So I think. And my poor fool is hanged. No. No life. Oh, why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life, and thou no breath at all? Thou come, Lord. Never, 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 never. I'm afraid I'll do this, but thank you. Do you see this? Look, look on her. Look. Her lips. Look. Look.
He faints. My lord, my lord.
Break heart. I prithee break.
Look up, my lord.
Vex not his ghost. Oh, let him pass. He hates him much that would upon the rack of this tough world stretch him out longer.
He is gone, indeed.
The wonder is he hath endured so long. He but usurped his life. I have a journey shortly to go. My master calls me, I must not say no.
The weight of this sad time we must obey. Speak what we feel, not what we ought to say. The oldest hath borne most. We that are young shall never see so much, nor live so long.
Pull it together, Delahoyde. Well, here are thoughts. Cordelia's been seen as a kind of a Christ figure going about her father's business earlier in the play, and here in a kind of a gender reversed pietà, we've got that image. Edmund's death is announced, but who cares? And Albany, who's already proved himself a good guy, would have yielded power to Lear, insisting that justice will be meted out. Albany has been identified as King James. I'm not sure why. I'd say William Stanley, Earl of Derby, is a better candidate, the possible secretary of Oxford in his later years, and the guy married to Oxford's oldest daughter, Elizabeth. The guy who was penning comedies for the common players and ended up as at least a weak candidate as the author Shakespeare. When Lear says, "and my poor fool is hanged," some think that's relating to the fool himself, who we haven't seen or heard of in all those acts. And others think he's referring to his daughter, saying that nothing can possibly be on his mind now but his daughter. And then others come back against that and say, yeah, but he wouldn't be calling his daughter fool. That's just maybe a term of endearment, just too jarring for the moment. Or maybe we can just acknowledge that there is a blurring between the fool and Cordelia, both dying this way. In fact, both parts could have been played by the same actor in Shakespeare's day. It's always interesting in Shakespeare's mature plays, or the ones acknowledged to be later plays, that a young, usually innocent daughter might be representing the works themselves, personification of the Shakespeare canon, which, if it's the case, then here, I guess the works are being strangled or rendered voiceless. And Lear's loss of kingdom can work, and this is Charles Beauclerk again, as a metaphor for Shakespeare's forfeiture of his works, which were attributed to another, and the terrible sense of annihilation into which this tragedy plunged him. But if Lear dies of a broken heart, maybe he's deluded about Cordelia there at the end too. That's ambiguous as well. So maybe he dies happily. And the Quarto edition has him going out with his final line, "Oh, oh, 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 oh," after he wants his button undone. It's like Hamlet's final four "oh, oh, oh, ohs" after the rest of silence in the first folio that everyone leaves out because it's too hard to play and not sound melodramatic. But it is also serving as Oxford's signature, the four O's, or 4-0 being his code number at court, 40. Why are there 5 in the edition here, the Quarto edition? I don't know. Maybe they screwed up. Of course, that ending is the cruelest and the most unbearable thing. And Kent seems to be indicating that he's so broken that he's going to follow his monarch's death shortly, which seems to many like that's autobiographical for Oxford too, after the 1603 death of Elizabeth. What else was there going to be for him? In legend or history, Edgar would rule after some time and is reported to have rid Britain of wolves. And finally, the line, "Speak what we feel, not what we ought to say." So at the start of the play, was Cordelia wrong or right? Or are we left with more unresolvable questions here and without the emotional energy to pursue them anymore? Well, I could have more to say about Oedipus Rex and blinding and where are the gods in all this? Do they care? But I'm going to leave that to my web pages because I just don't think any of us are emotionally ready for me to go on and on with much more of a conclusion here. I will say finally, though, that it seems like this is another play where physical suffering can bring about mental revelation that people will not begin to see until they learn to feel. And Shakespeare believes that suffering and affliction, to those at least who will give ear, bring power to see things as they are. So there's a real life reason for Shakespeare's dark period here, after we used to have characters like in The Two Gentlemen of Verona or Midsummer Night's Dream, who were just shallow, insignificant, and it was all a lark. But being battered around by love, marriage, politics, jealousy, betrayal, literary theft, and all the rest, it comes out in the art for Shakespeare. And here's finally what Charles Beauclerc also says. Either we experience this emotional truth and our hearts break, opening us up to a new dimension of consciousness, or we remain in an old hidebound mentality of viewing the plays as entertaining abstractions. The shaman's breakdown is also a breakthrough, and so we end up pointing again towards Shakespeare as spiritually enlightened. Okay, so for most of the commentary today and some more, you can visit my website, michaeldelahoyde.org, and you can find further reading, a slightly annotated filmography, other links, other information. For much more on this Oxfordian perspective, Shakespeare Illuminated was initially created with support from the Shakespeare Oxford Fellowship, shakespeareoxfordfellowship.org. Check us out, become a member. And we have good friends across the pond with the De Vere Society, deveresociety.co.uk. Check us out, become a member. And the show is currently being sponsored by the Shakespeare Foundation. Check us out. Try not to freak out if you go to theshakespearefoundation.org. So thanks very much to the Friends of Shakespeare Illuminated. I'm jazzed about it. And last and not least, I want to thank our brilliant actors. Roll credits,